Okay, so let me start. Distinguished TVET practitioner, professional, experts, teachers, and administrators, welcome to this week's second webinar organized by Colombo Plan Staff College, and I hope you all are fine and doing well in your respective field of work. As you know, today's topic is strategic planning and management for development of TVET institutions. For that topic, today we have two speakers to present it. First is Dr. D. Brahmadishwaran, and second is our respected Director General of Colombo Plan Staff College, Dr. Ramari Lamichane. So first, let me introduce Dr. D. Brahmadishwaran. Dr. D. Brahmadishwaran is from India and he has served National Institute of Technical Teachers Training and Research, NITTR, Chennai, India, as a faculty for 38 years and retired as Professor of Policy Planning and Educational Research. Currently, he is serving as Professor Emeritus, Vellore Institute of Technology, deemed university, certified accredited for APAC and NBA India, Honorary Vice President of Society for Educational and Entrepreneurship Development, Chennai. He has served as Project Coordinator of Canada-India Institutional Cooperation Project, HRD project funded by Canadian International Development Agency, CIDA, for 5 years, evaluator, monitor of 19 HRD projects in India, Nepal, and Sri Lanka, funded by national and international agencies. Consultant for 130 organizations funded by World Bank and Canadian International Development Agency for development of strategic plan. These organizations include universities, deemed universities, engineering college, and polytechnics. Consultant for Asian Development Bank, vocational training specialist for Additional Skill Acquisition Program, ASAP, of Government of Kerala. Coordinator of the Nodal Center for National Academic Network for Continuing Education, sponsored by AICTE. Member of Board of Governor and Academic Board of 5 engineering colleges in India. This is a brief introduction of Dr. Saab. So now, without further delay, I'd like to request Dr. D. Brahmadishwaran to start the presentation. And after his presentation, our respected Director General, Dr. Ramari Lamichane, will present it. And after that, there will be Q&A session. Thank you very much. So please, Dr. Brahmadishwaran, please unmute your microphone.
Unmute.
Yeah. Host, please open your PowerPoint presentation, then go to the share screen and share it, then tick the PowerPoint.
Good morning to all. At the outset, I would like to thank the Director General, Dr. Ramari Lamichane, for giving me an opportunity to present this webinar on strategic planning and management for development of TVET institutions. I am grateful to CPSC. I welcome all the learned participants throughout the globe who have made it convenient to attend this webinar, which is on an important topic on how to develop an educational institution adapting strategic planning. I would like to tell that corporate organizations and industries have been using strategic planning for a long time, but educational institutions have started using only for the last 35, 40 years. The benefits of strategic planning they have understood. My style of presentation is, I have about 98 slides, so I will not read each and every word in the slide. I will give the essence of it, the gist of it, by highlighting important words, phrases, sentences, as well as sharing my own experience as a case study of developing strategic plan for 130 institutions in India. So this is a plan I have got. And now let me say that this presentation is divided into three. Mapla, 1 second. Mapla, Kamala, the slide move on. Okay. My presentation I have divided into three parts. First part tells about the concept of strategic planning. What is strategic planning? Why it has to be done for the development of education institutions, particularly TVET institutions, and when it is to be done, when it should not be done, who should do it. Second part tells steps in strategic planning, that is how it should be done. And the last part, after you prepare strategic plan, how to implement it, monitor it, and evaluate it. So the first part tells what, why, when, who. So as in any planning, planning is a future-oriented process wherein an organization specifies where it is now and where it wants to be in another 15 years or 20 years, and develops the actions to reach there. That is called strategic planning. First step is it specifies where are we now in terms of certain parameters like percentage of students who graduate, percentage who get employed. Nowadays in many institutions, the seats are not filled. What is the sanctioned strength? What is the actual number of students who have joined? What is the percentage of students joining the institutions? All these are parameters of institutional development or indicators of institutional development. Now, where do we want to be in the future? In another 15 years or 20 years, on the same parameters, how do we want to score our institution? You specify that. Then we have got where are we now and where we want to be in the future. How do we get there? What is the roadmap? What methodology we are going to adapt? That is called strategies. So the strategy means deciding the long-term goals of the organization and identifying the courses of action and resources required and implementing them to achieve those goals. The concept of stakeholder is very important in strategic planning. In strategic planning, we consider the needs of the stakeholder. Stakeholder doesn't mean shareholder. Stakeholder is any person or group which will be benefited by the institution if it is functioning well, or it will be affected if the institution is not functioning well. Certain examples of stakeholders are director of technical education or university or government organization which are external to the institution, and then internal stakeholder, principal, professors, heads of departments, teachers, support staff, students, employers of our graduates, and community or society at large. We have to identify what are their needs of the employers and community. There is a difference between long-range planning and strategic planning. Long-range planning is a mere linear extrapolation of the past, and it focuses on the internal environment, whereas strategic planning focuses on the external environment, and that is the main difference between both of them. So in strategic planning, we have the external focus. So the external focus means we have to identify the needs of employers and community and students. The institution has an internal environment as well as an external environment. What are the changes that take place in the external environment? Now, liberalization, privatization, and globalization of the economy, impact of ICT. Now we are all moving towards online courses, online learning. Concern for quality of the program. Parents are more interested about the quality. That is why the importance of accreditation of programs is increasing. Accreditation by APEC, TVET, etc. Decreasing funding support from government for technical education, increasing number of commercial or private organizations, competition from them. Why strategic planning? To proactively anticipate change. The term proactive is very important. Any organization which is proactive seizes the opportunity and takes action and utilizes it will be successful. Some people are only reactive. If they are asked to do certain things, only they will do. Reactive approach will not be successful. And it has to follow a bottom-up model, and we have to use the resources optimally. An important quote by Stewart: once a new technology rolls over you, if you are not part of the steamroller, you will be part of the road. You will become, you will not be existing at all. When it should be done continually, and when it should not be done, when there is a crisis or when there is no support for planning from the top authorities. Who should be involved? Everyone. Everyone should be involved. And it has a cascading effect. What is meant by cascading? Bigger organizations will have a strategic plan at the top level, like IIT, corporate level plan, department level, center level plan, as well as sections level planning. It can percolate from top to bottom. We have to align the people in the organization. For aligning the people is very important. Now this diagram represents a misaligned organization without a strategic plan. It is like sailing a ship without a rudder. It will be drifted. As the wind changes, the direction will change. No controlled movement. Now this is an organization where members are not aligned with the strategic plan. The big arrow represents the organization as a strategic plan. The small arrows inside the big arrow represent the individuals. The individuals are moving in different directions, working at cross purposes, not in a coordinated manner. The third one, a strategic plan has been prepared, and most of the members in the organization have been aligned with the plan. So let us compare all the three. This is first one is no plan. Second one is plan is there, but people are not aligned. Third one is a plan is there, people are also aligned. So this third type of plan will work, will be successful because we are carrying the people in the organization with us. Now I am moving to the second part of my presentation, steps in strategic planning. The first part we have seen what, when, how, why, etc. Now we move on to how to do strategic planning. There are 8 steps involved in strategic planning. The first step is initiate strategic planning. Second step is do a clarify your mandate, develop vision and mission statements, conduct SWOT analysis, identify thrust areas, formulate goals, specify objectives, develop work plan and action plans. These are the 8 steps. This model, we call it as an iterative model. What is meant by iteration? It involves repeatedly doing the steps, going back and forth. It's not a linear, one-shot affair. The same thing you have represented in a different graphics. First step, initiate strategic planning. Constitute a strategic planning group and get the support of the top management and train the members of the strategic planning group. The constitution will involve the members as the principal, maybe the chairperson, few heads of departments, one person having great writing skill, one person having great facilitation skills. What is facilitation? He should be able to develop consensus, and he should be able to moderate the discussions. And any committee we form, we should have representation for women. And one of the members should be nominated as a secretary. He is called as process champion because he champions the strategic planning process. And now, definition of mandate, a description of what the organization is permitted to do by the legitimate higher authority is called mandate. Vision indicates the desired future state of the college from a long-term perspective. Now, mandate is something like we can, as an example, we can take a box. A box has 6 sides, and now the top side is open, let us say. And if you invert the box, if you blow it, that is called vision. So mandate is some restrictions we are required to do, what you are required to do by the higher authorities. And now we move on to the mission. Vision indicates what you want to become in another 10 or 15 years. And from a single vision, we can develop number of mission statements. The difference between vision and mission is, vision indicates what you want to become. Mission tells you how to achieve that status you have assumed in the vision statement. From the mandate, you have got a vision, larger goal for the last 15 or 20 years, mission 1 for the first 2 years, mission 2 for the 3rd and 4th year. Like that, you can have a number of missions for a strategic plan. Tells how to achieve those long-term goals by splitting them into thrust areas and smart objectives. A mission statement highlights what the college wishes to do and become within and beyond its mandate. So mandate is given by the higher authorities who grant approval. It tells what the college must do. Vision is developed by the people who work in the organization. Now, if you change the mandate, if you change all the people who work in an organization, the mandate will not change because it is a prescription given by the higher authorities. But the mission and mission statements of 2 organizations having the same mandate will change. So the vision and mission are developed by the people who work in the organization. A mission has certain elements like purpose, needs of the stakeholders, major goals, and core values. What is meant by core values? Values are basic convictions about what is right or wrong, good or bad, desirable or undesirable. Values may be individual values, institutional values, or national values. Example, institutional values, equity. Equity is not the same as equality as quality, focus on staff development, encouraging innovation, openness and transparency. These are certain core values of the institution. Now, mandate example I will not read. I requested CPSC to share my PowerPoint with all the participants. You can read. This is the mandate of Dr. Mahalingam College of Engineering and Technology, Pollachi, India, which is affiliated to Anna University, Autonomous College, which offers UG and PG programs. And it has to follow the curriculum, examination system, and admission as per the government and university rules. Vision, long-term goals, the college wishes to become autonomous. The college wishes to become a recognized R&D center. Its short vision statement is, we develop a globally competitive workforce and entrepreneurs. Mission statement, first mission statement. For example, if you look at the 3rd bullet, it wants to become a recognized center for research programs in mechanical and automobile engineering. In the vision, it says it wants to become a R&D center. Here it is very specific. What are the things it wants to focus. Mission statement examples is continued. You can read it. Core values here are environmental sustainability, transparency, creativity, teamwork, women in development. Now we move on to the fourth step, SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis means analyzing the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of the institution. The external environment provides opportunities and threats. College's internal environment provides strengths and weaknesses. Now, assessment of internal and external environment is done through SWOT analysis. When you do the internal analysis, we focus on the 4 P's. People, properties, processes, and products. People means human resources, faculty, administrative staff, supporting staff, students, the number of staff present, their morale, motivation. Properties, physical infrastructure, digital infrastructure. Nowadays, digital infrastructure becomes more important. Hardware, software, networking, interconnectivity, etc. And processes, governance, maintenance of equipment, management, administration, curriculum development process, teaching, learning, and pedagogical process, student services, staff development, MIS, very important. If an institution has to be successful, it should be able to supply the information to the higher authorities. The institution has communication processes and products, percentage of pass in the exam, percentage of students getting job placement, publications, patents, etc. External assessment, STEL, social, technological, economical, environmental, legal, and political. In social factor, we consider what are the opportunities for women, disadvantaged people, etc. Technological factors, I didn't tell, because of this COVID pandemic, we are all focusing on digital aspects and online learning. Economic factors, unemployment, underemployment. Now India gives more importance for entrepreneurship development. Environmental factors, WTO regulations. Legal factors, what are the statutory requirements? Political factors, how much autonomy the government is willing to give to the TVET institution becomes important. Now in SWOT analysis, we also analyze who are our customers and clients. Customers are employers who employ the graduates of our college. Clients are the students of our college. So both their needs we have to take into consideration. Then competitors. Now neighboring institutions in your neighborhood or some other commercial training organizations may be competing with you. Collaborators, the CII, Confederation of Indian Industries, and the industry association, sector skill councils, you can collaborate and run programs very successfully in industries. We have to identify the shifts in the needs of customers and clients, and then identify how to cater to them. This is very important. Now I will recollect one example. When I was a small boy, there was a tooth powder manufacturing company. Its tooth powder was very good. People used to stand in the queue and buy it. Now, slowly the customers preferred paste. The trend changed, but this company did not manufacture toothpaste. It continued to manufacture tooth powder itself. The company is not existing now because it has not adapted to the changing expectations of the customers. How to collect information for SWOT from students, alumni, parents of the students, employers like industries, government departments, NGOs, as well as faculty and staff of the college. The methods, we can have a survey through questionnaire, interviews, observation schedules by direct visit. You can also conduct focus group meeting with stakeholders. Moving from serious to BVS, we move from this current view situation to better view situation. While moving, strengths and opportunities push us weaknesses and threats oppose us. Now, this is an important slide in the sense we make decisions to identify the directions for institutional development. The specific major directions we arrive at are called as thrust areas. For that, you have to consider what are the opportunities and threats, what are the strengths and weaknesses as identified in SWOT analysis, and try to merge your opportunities and strengths. For example, now there are a lot of opportunities for providing online training, how to teach classes through online for teachers. If you are having a strength, some faculty members who are experts in online training, now you can have one thrust area on online training program, training for online training programs you can conduct as a thrust area. A thrust area is an important functional area of college requiring change. It will be related to an output of the college. It is not an operational micro level activity. It is a key performance area, KPA, not a micro level activity. For example, if the water supply is not there in the hostel of the institute, it is not a thrust area. It is a repair and maintenance activity to be brought under physical infrastructure development. Physical infrastructure development should be a thrust area. Some examples of thrust area: HRD, infrastructure development, student services, examination reform. Now many people are thinking of open book exam, online examinations, research and development project, industry institute interaction, skill development programs, environment development, etc. Now we may not be able to carry out activities in all and each and every thrust area. We have to prioritize the importance, usefulness, and urgency. Now, for each of the prioritized and selected thrust areas, a number of goals can be identified. A goal statement tells what the institute wants to achieve and why it wants to do it. So why and what are answered in the goal statement. Example for goal statement, I am not going to read it. The first sentence will tell why we are taking it as a goal. The second and few sentences will tell what will be done in order to achieve the goal. A goal can be split into number of objectives. Objective 1, objective 2, objective n. An objective is more specific. The objectives are called SMART objectives. Specific action oriented S, measurable M, attainable A, resource specific, and time bound SMART. Write objective statements. What will be done? In goal statements, we focus on only two aspects: why we are doing it and what we are doing it. And here you are going to focus on not only what will be done, the persons who will be carrying out the actions, the methodology, how it will be done, the tasks, the activities, the time frame when it will be done, the venue where it will be done, the resources required, human resources, material resources, money, and policy support may also be required. How well it should be done, that is called indicators of success. Indicators of success are the changes we will see when the objective has been successfully achieved. It may reflect the quantity or quality or time taken for achieving the results, and also the cost. In any objective you should achieve without time overrun or cost overrun. Examples: 20% increase in the number of teachers trained in industries, 25% increase in the participation of female students in extracurricular activities. Objective statement, here all the details of the task and the time frame within which it will be completed will be given. To publish a newsletter for the college, here it says the mailing list will be prepared and approved by September 2021, and the first newsletter will be published during the first week of October 2021. Like that, time frame will be fixed for each of the tasks. Work plan and action plan for each of the thrust areas. A work plan is like a Gantt chart. Now, for each of the objectives in each thrust area, you have to indicate a line. This the bar, the line indicates when the activity for each objective will start and when it will be end. And it also tells the duration of carrying out and the time allowed for accomplishing the objective. This is very useful as a project management tool to monitor the implementation of the strategic plan. Here the red color arrow indicates the planned timeline. We can have with a different color indicating what was the actual timeline, when it was started, how much time it took, when it ended. Now we have to also prepare an action plan for each objective. An action plan lists who will do it and the time frame for each task and the resources required. For thrust area, objectives, objective number, action leader. You should not put the principal of the institution as the action leader for all the action plans. It is not possible. It should be percolate. That's what I told. All the people in the organization should be involved, bottom-up model. So action leaders should be distributed to number of people in the organization. Indicators of success. As I told you, how much percentage or what is the quantum or quality. For each task, who will be the main person responsible, when it will start, when it will end, what are the resources required. If you say that funds are required, you have to identify the quantum expected source from which the funds will come. The strategic plan now will have the mandate, vision, mission, thrust areas, goals, objectives, action plan for each objective. When you combine the action plan for the various objectives in a goal and combine them, it becomes a work plan. And you can compile the strategic plan into a book, into a good document. It will have an introduction, profile of the college, mandate, what the college is required to do and permitted to do by the higher authorities, vision, what the college wants to become in another 15 or 20 years, first vision statement, how it will achieve its vision, and what are the actions it will take in the first 2 years, SWOT analysis, analysis of internal environment and external environment, internal environment 4 P's, external environment still, thrust areas, key functional areas which require change, goals under thrust area, and SMART objectives. Work plan for each thrust chart, action plan, detailed tasks and timeline, and persons who will carry out each task. All these will be included in the strategic plan. Finally, when you have the plan, you have the vision, mission, thrust areas, goals, objectives. Last, most important is activities. So strategic plan will work in an organization where the people want to do some extra work. If every teacher feels teaching the theory and laboratory class is my work, I will not contribute anything for other than that, then strategic plan will not work. Every one of us should contribute for institutional development in any one thrust area at least. So strategic plan will work when people want to do that institutional development work. Now, I have finished 2 parts. First part, I explained what is strategic planning, an introduction, when it should not be done, who should do it, the bottom-up model, stakeholder, etc. Second part, I explained the 8 steps involved in strategic planning, the preparation of the strategic plan, starting from constitution of the group, coming up to the development of action plan. Now we are moving on to third part. First we have seen the concept. Second part we have seen the how to do it. Now once the plan is ready, the document should not be kept as a PhD thesis in the library. It has to be implemented on a day-to-day basis. So we move on from strategic planning to strategic management. What are the steps involved in strategic management? What are the terms of reference for the strategic management group? First, it was a strategic planning group. Now we are converting it to the strategic management group, and we have to sustain the process. The steps involved in strategic management are: first step is preparation of the plan, dissemination of the plan. In some institutions, I have found the plan is kept inside the drawer, table drawer of the principal. It is not disseminated to others. In other institutions, I have found the vision, mission, and other statements are highlighted on the walls. So dissemination. You can even have a short version of the plan. You can give to all stakeholders who visit your college. Long version copies should be available with all the faculty members who are involved in its implementation. Then implementation of the plan. Implementation of each of the action plans and work plans. Then monitoring the implementation. It is something like a formative evaluation and evaluation of the results achieved, summative, on completion of the activity. Monitoring is done during the carrying out of the activity. Then revising the plan. For example, Dr. Mahalingam Engineering College has revised its strategic plan 3 times. Every 2-3 years, you have to revise the strategic plan. Then institutionalizing the strategic management process. By developing policies, and you have to institutionalize that. Steps 6 and 7 contribute to sustainability of the strategic management process. Now we come to empowerment of strategic planning group. Initially, I told that with the support of the management of the college, we constituted a strategic planning group. Its work ended when the first strategic plan has been prepared. Now, the strategic planning group should be given power to be converted into a strategic management group. SPG, strategic planning group, gets converted into strategic management group. What are the duties of the strategic management group? Planning, prioritizing, allocating resources to various institutional development projects, carrying out the activities in a scheduled manner, monitoring, evaluation, and celebrating the success. Very important. When a plan has been successfully implemented, you have to reward the people involved and celebrate the success. The role of the SMG, Strategic Management Group in the college is, it has to identify what inputs will come as resources and how it will be distributed to cater to the various demands of. Now, the resource inputs may come from state government, central government, managing trusts, students' fees, revenue generated, contributions from business, industry, externally funded projects, even alumni donate number of things, demands for conducting R&D activities, continuing education, industry partnerships, implementation of management information system, infrastructural development and digital infrastructure, staff development, sports, extracurricular activities, student services, women in development activities, environment development, conducting UG, PG, PhD programs. So everything is done in an integrated manner. What are the guidelines for effective functioning of the strategic management? It must meet regularly and document the minutes, ensure transparency. It should not be opaque, like our Right to Information Act. It should be transparent, communicate the decisions to all stakeholders, facilitate autonomy, and ensure accountability to project teams. Our former Prime Minister, Dr. Jawaharlal Nehru, used to tell, I am not interested in excuses, I am interested in results. So that is what has to be. Results are important. Adapt results-based management approach and specify the results expected of each of the projects taken up. Revise the strategic plan periodically. Terms of reference. When the strategic management group has been constituted, it has been enabled, it has been empowered. It should be given some TOR. TOR means what are the roles, what are the purposes and roles, who will be the members, what will be the term of office, who will be permanent members, ex officio members, rotational members, how frequently the meetings will occur. For example, in many organizations, the strategic planning group meets at least once in a month on a second Wednesday afternoon, 2:30 p.m. So all of them have noted, deans, directors and professors, HODs have noted, and they will attend the meeting. Quorum for meeting, decision-making process, is it by consensus or by voting, then documentation process. The duties and responsibilities of various functionaries, who will prepare the agenda, who will prepare the minutes, etc. Now we come to sustainability of strategic management process. Sustainability refers to institutionalization of the new approach. Now the head of the institution may change, the vice chancellor may change, the director may change, but we should not throw the strategic plan into dustbin. It should be continued. It should be institutionalized. For that, we have to create necessary structures, linkages, and procedures, as well as policy manual has to be there for sustaining the strategic management. We have to develop it. Key factors in sustaining, continuing, and propagating strategic management process are belief in the process and a desire for change. If there is no desire for change, then there is no need for doing strategic planning. Support provided by the leader, very important. Then focus on the needs of the stakeholders. We should focus on the needs of our external stakeholders. As I told you, customers and clients. Customers are the employers, clients of our students, not only full-time students, but part-time students. Now, I had an example. I did a strategic planning exercise for a cooperative bank in India, a cluster of branches. The employees came out with a number of objectives and action plans. All of them were related to employee welfare. Not even one action plan or objective was related to the customer's requirement. So such a plan will not work. We have to focus on the customer's requirement and serve the needs of the customers. And in the beginning, we should not take very big projects. Take doable projects which will result in immediate success, recognize them, reward them, celebrate them. For example, I did a project for a famous hospital in Chennai. They used to have on their portico the projects going on this month and the stars who are implementing them. They used to have the pictures of the people who are involved on the wall of the front entrance as a sort of recognition. Then total involvement of all staff. Now, generally when I go to many colleges, they ask, sir, if I do good work, I am rewarded with more work. Should I continue with work to do more work, or should I say no? I used to tell, do the work, then you will be able to delegate to others. You will be given higher levels of work. Your responsibility and your reputation will go up higher in the ladder. Then balanced distribution of workload. Don't overload sincere workers, only distribute the work to all the people. Systematic review and follow-up, very important. Structured meetings, recording and reporting. Structures and procedures necessary for strategic management process. Implementation of each action plan. It is the responsibility of the action leader and the concerned team member. Time frame as specified in the action plan. Monitoring the implementation of the action plan by the strategic management group on a monthly review basis. Celebration of the success, again, strategic management group will do as and when a particular project or action plan is completed. Evaluation of the results are done by strategic management group by surveys once in a year, revision of the strategic management group once in a year or twice in a year, or once in 2 years. Now, strategic management group has to keep three things very important. We should focus on the client. We exist because there are customers and clients. What are their needs? Accordingly, we have to adapt and modify our approach. And continuous improvement. We should be proactive. We should see what is the trend that is emerging and capture that trend and serve the needs of the emerging needs of the customers. So continuous improvement through collection of feedback, the total involvement of all staff, not only the top people, but all the people in the institution should be involved. So that is why we do a SWOT analysis survey to collect the opinion of all the teaching staff, non-teaching staff, students, alumni, parents, etc. So if these three things are satisfied, then it will be successful. Remember, strategic planning is not a destination, but a steady journey incorporating continuous improvement. It is not a destination to be arrived at. Its success depends upon the commitment and motivation of all stakeholders. All the stakeholders have to be committed and they should believe in the process. Now, finally, I would like to tell this is an introduction to strategic planning and management for development of TVET institution. And if participants are interested, they can. I have requested CPSC to share my PowerPoint, and I also want, if some are interested in a detailed study of strategic planning and how it helps technical education institutions, there is a SWAM course offered by Government of India through online education. It's a 8 weeks course, and the coordinator is NITTR Chennai. It is launched on 1st June. Registration will start from July. Myself and my colleague Dr. Dhanapal are the co-authors of the program. It provides a lot of tools like questionnaires, observation schedules, interview schedules for SWOT analysis. It provides examples of how to prioritize when you have limited resources, nominal group process and other details. So those who are interested can register for this free course on SWAM. Thank you. I have finished my presentation. Now I request the CPSC authorities to take over.
Thank you, Dr. Bragadishwaran sir, Professor.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for excellent presentations. As Engineer Sanyog already mentioned, Professor Bragadishwaran is a very legend personality in the education, especially technological education in India. He is very senior person, but if you see his spirit, his energy, not weaker than the youth of 25 years. So we have to salute him for his great effort. Still he is doing a lot of work in India, even though he is retired from the government job, but he is providing coaching to different universities, and he is active, and he supervise about more than 20 PhD theses every year. So he still is very active. I got this opportunity to introduce with him in 2015 when I was not in CPSC. Luckily, we met first time in Manila in one hotel. Then I got opportunity to go South India with him, and we visited many educational institutions, which he gave one example, Mahalingam Engineering College, that is near the Madurai, South India, and almost border of the Kerala and Tamil Nadu. And that university, that college has a higher degree, like master degree, bachelor degree, and polytechnic, primary schools, all level of educations that institute provide. That is like a temple. So he is one of the advisor for that college. So I got that opportunity with him, and even like we did some religious trip to a very great temple in South India. So thank you, sir, for your great presentations, and insight, given very high insight to all of us. Today, actually, I am not going to present because in front of Professor Bragadisharam, if I will present, it will like a candle in front of sun. But what I am doing, I'll just summarize what he presented, okay? So maybe because of professor, because of time pressure, you know, he did very fast presentation. And there might be, you know, we have a very heterogeneous group from different country. So our accent pronunciation might be problem to catch. That's why I will just present in a simple way what he said in my 11 slides, okay? So please. Okay, so I am just explaining what he said, strategic planning process. So I want to start this whole process with the German proverb. German proverb said, what's the use of running if you are not on the right road? See, we are managing a TVET institute, and we have our one vision, our mission, our goal, our objectives. We have different strategies, and we have many activities to achieve our goal, organizational goal. But if we do not go the proper road, what we should be, then we will not achieve. That's why this German proverb is very, very rightly addressed, and which Professor Bragadisharam already mentions about whole process. What's the use of running if you are not on the right road? So as a TVET Institute leader, director, principal, we have to follow the right road. Then we can see the milestones. If you go to the wrong road, you cannot find destinations and you will get wrong milestones, okay? Then he explained about the strategic plan. So strategic planning is a discipline, creative process. This is not new thing. This is a kind of discipline approach and creative process. Especially, strategic plan process will tell where it is today to where you wish it to be in the future. Like, where are you today? So after 5 years, where you want to be? That's the two important answers the strategic planning has to give. So it will answer following questions. Strategic plan will answer following questions. What do we do? Where are we going? Where are we now? How will we get there? How did we get here? When will we get there? Means how we reach today, like 2021 June 5th. Where are we today now? So when will we get there means when we will reach our destination, like goal. After 5 years, after 3 years, after 10 years. So that has to tell by your strategic plan. Then why do we establish? What will it cost? So who are our stakeholders? How can we be different than others? Okay, that's why if we get answer of these questions with the document, black and white document, we can claim that is our strategic plan. That they're defined by the different authors, and our presenter, the experts mentions this. Please try to get answer of these questions with your strategic plan, then it will be a very complete document, okay? This is the introduction part. So what are the benefits? He explained a lot of things about the importance of the strategic plan. So benefits of a strategic plan is make your future happen, don't let it happen to you. So if you have a strategic plan document, you can make your future. And you can win your future. We can win your target. You can reach your destination. Similarly, establish directions. So strategic plan will give clear direction. Like I mentioned, if you have a strategic plan document, you will always run in a right road, okay? It will give clear direction to you, where to go, how to go, and make wise decision. So he also explained a lot. The strategic plan document will support for your decision-making process. Similarly, create longevity of the organization. So if you have a very good strategic plan or plan approach and very systematic quality management system within your organizations will sustain for a longer time. So it will create a history. Oh, 100 years, 200 years. We are not thinking, if you are thinking about strategic plan, normally we develop a strategic plan for 5 years, especially in education organization. But we can revise, we can review every 5 years. But even within the 5 years, if the context changes, if the resources change, for example, all of you have now a strategic plan. Because of COVID-19, now you have to review your strategic plan. You have to change many activity. Goal might be same, objective can be different. Like in your present strategic plan, if you talk only like face-to-face classroom and practicals, but now you have to add the activity of the online course, distance learning. So because of COVID, because of this type of context, you have to revise the strategic plan. That's why strategic plan is not a rigid document. It is very flexible document. Increase productivity and governance. If you have a strategic plan, definitely your institutional productivity and good governance system within the organization will enhance. And unique differentiations. Avoid competitive convergence. Means because of his strategic plan, like he explained about the SWOT analysis, so we have to identify what is our competitive advantage of our institute, why we are different than others. So it will support you to create your differentiations than competitors, okay? That is another advantage, benefit. Increase job satisfaction, meaningful and full of purpose. If you have a very clear, concrete, concise strategic plan, so not only principal, not only director, not only CEO, all the staff's job satisfactions will be present there because of the happiness, clearness. There will be no confusions if you have a very strong strategic plan. So there are many limitations of the strategic plan, so because I already explained, there are ample of benefits of a strategic plan, but same time there are limitations also, like uncertain future. Like I already explained, we don't know about futures. We can plan for future, but we cannot say that will achieve 100% because future is uncertain, like these situations. So a lot of things has been changed. So because of uncertain future, it is one of the limitations. Similarly, internal resistance. When you bring a new strategic plan as a great leader, first you have to tackle with your internal resistance from your staff. People would like to go like a routine, a traditional way, routine work. If you bring very innovative activities, innovative things, like this, our teachers might not be interested to conduct online course because you have to do a lot of work. So internal resistance will be there. Organizational conflicts exposed. During the SWOT analysis, during the stakeholders analysis, maybe in-house analysis, during that period, there might be internal organizational conflicts can be exposed. People will claim different department, higher management to lower management, middle level supervisor to top level supervisor. There might be, a lot of conflicts exposed during this process. So we should not be afraid with that. Current operating problems lead to plan. Ignore future problems. So sometimes another limitations is when we focus on the current problems and past problems, maybe we cannot see the future problems. So that is another demerits or limitations of a strategic plan. So please think about the upcoming problems also. So current operating problems lead to plan. That's why if we do not see upcoming problems or future problems, or if we don't see the futures, or if we do not see the beyond the box things, then our plan can be led by the current problems. So which cannot be addressed, which cannot address to future problems, right? So risk and fears of failure. If we fear with the failure because of high risks to implement a strategic plan, that is another limitation. So we cannot implement. So we have to take risk. Don't afraid with failure. Failure is the success of failure is one of the success of reason of success. We should not be afraid with failure. Failure is the reason of success. Place new demands. Always new strategic plan brings lot of demands, lot of resource requirement, lot of time requirements, lot of procedures requirement, lot of process requirements. So new demands will be there within your organization. We have to avoid uncertainty. So, it is like another limitation is avoid uncertainty. No, we cannot wish always like that. And planning is difficult, messy, hard work. Planning is not easy task, what we are thinking. In management, it's saying, if you give 80% time for planning and 20% time for implementation, then only we can be a successful. But what is happening? We are just doing opposite. We give 20% time for planning and 80% time for implementation. That's why we cannot do the best thing there. We have to give more time for planning and management. Planning is expensive in time and money. If we consider time and money, it is expensive. That is another limitation. So we need a lot of resources and limit choices and activities. And because of a strategic plan, it might limit choices and activities. We cannot be more innovative and creative if we follow the strategic plan. Definitely, we have to follow a strategic plan. That's why I told strategic plan is not a rigid document. It is a flexible document. Considering the context and the available resources, you have to revise your strategic plan. Okay? Don't be rigid. Components of a strategic plan, he already mentions. This is summary, vision, mission, goals, objectives, strategies, actions. These are the key components. These are the foundation of a strategic plan. Another then competitive advantage. When you are talking about strategic plan, you have to identify what are the competitive advantages of my organizations, my institutions. That also you have to list it. You have to identify. That is another component. SWOT. He explained clearly, SWOT analysis. External and internal environment. Strength and weakness is always internal. Opportunity and threat is always external environment. So we have to analyze internal and external environment. That's why sometimes it is called environmental scanning also. Okay. And quality principle. If we are talking about a strategic plan, we have to identify what are the quality principles of my institutions. What are the quality principles of my organizations? We have to write down. Similarly, values. We discussed last time also. What are the values of our institutions? Values related to sustainable development. Values related to, gender balance things. Value related to quality. Value related to discipline. There are many things, So we have to list down what are the values. That is another component of a strategic plan. Then the final one is inputs. To implement all our actions or activities, we need resources. Inputs means 5 M's: man, machines, materials, marketing, methods, money. All 5 M's should come into the inputs. These are the components of a strategic plan. He explained in detail. I just summarized. So linkage of a strategic plan. Within the elements, it should have a very good linkage. If you miss the link between one element to another elements, and if it breaks the chain, the sequence of chain, we cannot achieve our organizational goal. We cannot touch our vision. That's why vision, mission, goals, objectives, strategies, activities, resources, it should have a very good linkages like a chain. It should not be separated each other. So if you give a small resource, that will contribute to your vision. If you implement one activities, that should link to your strategies, that strategy link to your objectives, that objective need to link with goals. Goal has to contribute to mission, and missions should link with vision. A vision is a dream. Vision is a dream of organization, is a destinations. That's why a small activity, what we perform in our organizations, that has to contribute to the organizational vision. So this is called linkages of strategic plan. In other way, in management term, we can say that this is called strategic direction, strategic directions of the organization, okay? So if you see evaluation part, if we see the result part, these are the process, but vision and missions is related with impacts. Goal is related with outcomes. That's why TVET institution's goal is employment of the graduates. That is outcomes. And how your institutions give impact to the community, society, nation as a whole. That is called vision, missions, contribute to impact. Goal, contribute to outcomes. Objectives means outputs, like graduates. So always when you write objectives, it should be related to outputs. So what we will achieve? That's why he explained objectives should be smart. Okay. Then strategies is a process. Strategies and activities is a process. So one strategy, there might be 6 activities. Okay. Then resources means inputs. So another perspective, we can say impact, outcome, outputs, process, inputs. This is a linkage. So steps to prepare a strategic plan. He mentioned situation assessment, where are we now? Strategic direction, where do we want to be? Implementation planning, how do we get there? Okay, that's why 3 steps, a broad 3 steps are there. And key features of strategic planning approach: realistic and comprehensive assessment of strength and weakness. So it should be realistic and comprehensive assessment of strength and weakness. That is internal organization. Within organization, we have to identify what are our strengths, what are our weaknesses within the organization. Similarly, clear and broad understanding of opportunities and challenges. So what are the opportunities and challenges or threats in the external environment? We have to identify, okay? So then an inclusive approach. If you are talking about strategic planning approach, it should be inclusive. Please involve all your staff. If you make by yourself in your like a CEO desk or 2-3 persons write up, that document will not own by your staff, will not own by your stakeholders. That's why there should be a very concrete and very active involvement of all of your stakeholders during the strategic planning process. A flexible approach, I already mentioned. Strategic plan is not a rigid. What boss says, that is not the goal of organization. What your stakeholders smells, that is the goal. Prioritize the areas of intervention. We cannot achieve everything within 5 years. There might be 100 of list, wish list. From wish list, you have to convert, you have to prioritize achievable list. So prioritize the area of intervention. So within next 5 years, what we want to do? And then after what? So you have to prioritize like that. And practical approach, it should be a practical approach. That's why these pictures also tell, this is the Mount Everest from Nepal. So if our institutions, if our target to reach the top of the Mount Everest, you will face a lot of challenges. Your organization, your staff will say, we don't have resources, we cannot spend $100,000, and external environment, there will be very tough wind. And to climb for the final summit, always happen in the midnight, like a 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. Within that 2 hours, the climber will reach the Mount Everest. That after that we can't. Means we have to analyze properly the external environment. That is very important for the organization. And this is a format for a strategic plan. This is our tips for you. Section 1, executive summary. Section 2, introduction of institution. That is called elevator pitch. You know, most of you might know elevator pitch. Elevator pitch means if you meet somebody in the elevator or lift, within 30 seconds, if you are able to introduce yourself to your new friend, that is called elevator pitch. That's why we have to give very precise introduction about our institution. And SWOT analysis, organizational culture and values, vision, mission and goals, objective, strategies and activities. Section 6. Section 7, inputs or resources. Section 8, logical framework and monitoring framework. Okay, this is a table of content format for a strategic plan. So when you are thinking, if you are thinking to develop a strategic plan, please follow this content. Then you can give muscles, you can give bloods, you can give vitamins, you can give bones. Skeleton is there, but different vitamins you have to provide. Then you can make a very strong strategic plan and it will erect. Thank you. So this is the Buddha's quote again. Never be controlled by 3 things: your past, money, people. You know, if you control by your past, you cannot see your future. Because yesterday is cancel check. Tomorrow is promissory note. Today is ready cash. Use it. So your past, money, people, never be controlled by 3 things. If we control by these things, we cannot see our bright future. Okay. So with this great quote of Lord Buddha, thank you. And this is a summary of the Dr. Bragadishram presentations. Hope many questions answered with this also. So I'll request my friend Ghani to give, if there are more questions, but I observe Dr. Bragadishram, please be ready for answer. And there are 3 questions I found during your presentation. One is from Muhammad Abul Hasim. He asks how we attract meritorious student in TVET education. That is one question, even though it is not related with today's presentation. So you can answer because of your experience, you can answer it. What will be level of revision? Can we revise vision, missions, goals, or down objectives as well? Does revise means review? If revision, how often within the stated period of strategic plan? These 2 questions from the Dr. Hazrat Hussain, Pakistan. He was the former faculty of CPSC. At present, he is a great principal in the Pakistan. He is a legend TVET experts of the Pakistan as well as the Asia Pacific region. Okay, these are the 3 questions. Dr. Bragadishwaram, please.
Please unmute your microphone, please.
Hello? Are you able to hear me?
Yes, yes, we are hearing you.
You are able to hear me?
Yes, yes, we are hearing you.
Okay. How the first question I will answer, how we attract meritorious students to TVET education. The most important thing is in terms of the TVET educational institutions, if your program is accredited by a well-recognized accrediting external agency like APAC or ABET, parents are happy to admit their children, meritorious students, to such an institution or to such a program. That is one important thing, accreditation. Second, compared to general education, arts and science or medical or legal, TVET institutions in particular sectors where there is more employment, then students will join. These are the two things. Generally, I used to say, education is for 3 E's. When you complete an education, either you go for employment, or you become an entrepreneur, or you go for higher education, 3 E's. So parents look at it, whether it is an accredited institution, and whether the students will get employment, whether the institution has got good training and placement arrangements. These are the indicators they look, and they admit the students. The student not only chooses an institution, he also chooses a particular program in institution. Computer science in college X, electronics in college Y. So institution is first, course is the primary level choice. This is the first question. The second question I am not able to see. It related to the revision of the things. There are two subdivisions of that second and third question. You have to revise starting from SWOT analysis data has to be used. From the SWOT analysis data, you have to revise the vision, then mission, then goals, objectives. The revision has to occur from vision onwards, not from objectives. That is one. How frequently the revision has to be done? Normally, strategic plans are revised once in 4 or 5 years. This is my answer. Could you, other questions are there? Shall I answer them, PG? The next question is,
Yes,
could you
sir.
Please.
specify thrust area once more? Thrust area is an important functional area like digital infrastructure development nowadays. Is an important thrust area for institutional development. Thrust area means, as pointed out by DG, we allot more resources, and so that there will be the expected output. Focused action will be done in a thrust area to create a remarkable change in the functioning of the institute. From classroom teaching, if you want to move to online teaching, this digital infrastructure has to be there. That is the next question. How we measure success in strategic plan? That is why I told there are indicators of success for each of the objectives, SMART objectives. Indicators of success indicate what will be the expected results when an objective is successfully accomplished. So using the indicators of success, we can measure the extent of accomplishment of the action plan. Less meritorious students admitted to TVET education. How we attract meritorious students? This question I already answered, but there is also another thing, especially in many countries, for higher level technical education, bright students come. For vocational education, at school level, many parents and students feel vocational education is meant for less meritorious students. A vocational education which terminates in a certificate or diploma is not valued much in community or society or for marriage. A degree is valued more. But for employment, a certificate or diploma will be valued more than a degree in general arts. How to motivate stakeholders to be part of the strategic planning and management? Now, stakeholders, for example, if you take an industry, the college which DG was also mentioning, Mahalingam College and Nachimuthu Polytechnic at Pollachi in India, they have a tie-up program with the TVS group of industries. So they customize their curriculum to suit the specific needs of that particular industry. The industry provides free tuition, free hostel, starting from shoes to completion, internship, everything. So you can have a partnership, MOU, with industries and arrange customized training programs for them. Then strategic management for government institution. For government institution also, we have tried in the Canada-India project. We started in the year 1993, government polytechnics. We asked them to generate revenue. The extra revenue generated by conducting skill development programs, continuing education programs, equipment repair center, consultancy programs, testing services. That income, previously they were remitting to the government. We got a policy support. In India, we call it as a government order GO to retain that income with the college, not to remit back to the government. So that extra income generated has to be used for institutional development purposes, not as decided by the head of the institution, but as decided by the strategic management group. That is what I called, we have to empower the strategic management group. Then starting the strategic management government, I have answered. What will be the level of revision that I told? Once in 3 or 4 years, you have to revise. You have to do SWOT analysis at least once in 2 years. Revision means review, yes. There are 2 levels. For formative evaluation, as they call the difference between formative evaluation and summative evaluation. If a cook tastes the soup, we call it as a formative evaluation. If the guest tastes the soup, it is called summative evaluation. So you can do formative evaluation called monitoring and revise mid-course corrections while you are implementing the strategic plan. You can also do final evaluation on completion of implementation of the action plan. And if the results or outputs, outcomes, impact created are as expected, as planned, we can celebrate the success. If not, take some corrective measures. Are there additional questions? I have answered 7 questions.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you for great presentations, and you cover almost all questions. And there is one questions left. I'll try to answer.
Okay.
The questions from Mohammad Saukat Ali. He is the IT expert software consultant. He worked a lot in Bangladesh in different institutes. Now he is working as a consultant in software. So he has one question: does strategic planning is to be done through project work or regular activities? Regular activities. For strategic plan also, do not wait any donor. That is your regular job. If we already mentioned, if you don't have plan, you don't know where to reach. So that's why this is your regular activity. Like our individual goal, if you set your individual goal, you can reach the destination. Similarly, you can remember your institution is an individual organization. So we have to set our organizational strategic direction. That's why this is a regular task. I think almost all questions we covered. So thank you very much.
I would like to propose a vote of thanks. Can I have 1 minute?
Yeah, okay, please.
Yes. I would like to thank the DG, Dr. Ramari Lamichane, for giving me this wonderful opportunity to interact with the learned professors, academicians from different countries by hosting it through CPSC. I'm highly grateful to you, sir. I'm also thankful to Mr. Virgil, officer in charge of Training and Development Division, Mr. Felix, ITC officer, and all other CPSC staff members who have worked behind the scenes. I am thankful to Dr. GK, former faculty member of CPSC, for linking me and connecting me and motivating me to present this webinar. Thanks to one and all. I would like to appreciate the great work that is being done by CPSC during this lockdown period by giving us a lot of intellectual input to think over and teach ourselves. A big thanks to CPSC. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Pranam, namaskar for your great contribution. We always salute you. And I know your attitude, and he's a very, very, religious person also, and he's vegetarian, and
I'm 73 years young, sir.
73 years old, and he's still active because he always put this bigud and chandan in the head. It will give, cool to his brain. So always energetic. thanks, and he can travel even 48 hours by train, and when he reaches the university, he can present the class. So he has that sort of spirit. I know him very well. On behalf of Colombo Plan Staff College, thank you for your great contributions.
Yes.
Thank you for your, academic professionalism. Still, you are teaching to us. So, on behalf of Colombo Plan Staff College, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to our expert today, who presented, the great professor from India. I already mentioned he is the one of the legend educationists in the India, not only in Chennai, South India, and all my team. And thanks for all the great professionals around the globe from United States, Fiji, Australia, Africa, Asia Pacific, Europe. Today I observed 2,076 participants, almost 68 countries. So this is a great platform we are creating from CPSC, and this is because of you professional people. So that's why when we will complete this webinar things, we will send you all link who were participated. Then you can create your network in the entire globe, because all are related with technical education and vocational programs. So TVET is a great thing, and every countries now they are focusing for TVET programs, allocating more resources. But our duty is to how to effectively and efficiently manage those resources through concrete and precise and very strategic plan. So we need committed leadership, strategic directions, long-term visions, strategic plan, and concrete implementation of strategic plan as an annual plan or operational plan. Then you can success. Thank you very much once again for your valuable time. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
For your good presentation, sir.
Namaste. Sir.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Namaste.
for your explanation.
வணக்கம் ரொம்ப நன்றி
Thank you.
தேங்க்யூ
Thank you, sir.
தேங்க்யூ வெரி மச் சார்
Thank you all of
Thank you and namaste to all of you for the
all of you. Thank you everyone.
Everyone, thank you so much.
Thank you.